Thank you for tuning in to the latest edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. Whether you're listening during your commute, while working out, or just relaxing at home, we appreciate you. Every download, every listen, and every subscription means a lot. Up next, the 12 Kyle podcast.
Every person on that campus is invested in you and they want to help you. And they will do whatever they can within reason to help you. You have to help yourself, obviously, but I think that's very important for students to understand when they get on an HBCU campus. I can't tell you that everybody at UCLA is pushing you to graduate. I can't tell you that everybody at the University of Missouri is pushing you to graduate. I can't tell you that that happens at Florida or Florida State. I can tell you that that happens at South Carolina State. It happens at Florida A&M. It happens at Howard. It happens at Tennessee State. It happens at Jackson State and all of the other schools that are HBCUs. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. Thank you for downloading. And thank you for subscribing to the latest edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. I am your boy, 12 Kyle. I want to thank you all for tuning in as you do each and every week. Shout out to those of you who are watching on YouTube as well as Spotify. Man, check this out. So the other day, I'm scrolling on Threads, right? And I came across this post that was made by someone who I don't even follow, but their post ended up in my timeline. And the post is made by someone by the name of Alex the Mogul, and I'll read it to you in its entirety. It says, quote, "My oldest nephew is going off to an HBCU in a few days. Men that went to college, please give him some solid advice before he leaves." Close quote. Well, Alex, you've come to the right place. As many of you know, or maybe you don't know, I am a proud alum of an HBCU. My HBCU is South Carolina State University, where I was a student and an athlete and a little bit of everything in between from 1991 until 1996. If you're watching on YouTube and Spotify, you can see my jersey here behind me as well as my helmet because I play football right beside me. But what I wanted to do was give this advice to Alex and anyone else who may be sending their child to an HBCU. I know school has already started, but hey, listen, this advice right here is golden. You can take it any way that you want to take it, and you can use it and apply it when you set foot on that campus. So without further ado, I've got 12 basic fundamentals of advice that I would like to lend to Alex's nephew and anyone else who's listening and watching. So my advice when you go to an HBCU, more specifically, because I know they said college, but I'm going to talk about it from the HBCU perspective because I didn't go to a PWI. Number one, and these in no particular order. Number one, go to class. And more importantly, when you go to class, sit in the front of the class. I really and truly think that makes a difference. I've found personally that when you're in the front of the class, you're more likely to be engaged in the class. If you're in the back of the class, maybe not as much. And if you're in the back of a class that you don't like, you're really not going to do well. And I can say that from personal experience. But one thing I will say is, seriously, kids, go to class. That's what you're there for. I know that it costs money. For some, they're going to go to school for free, and that's dope. But the bottom line is, go to class. You're there to get an education. You're there to grow and develop as a young person. You're there to, in a lot of ways, find who you're going to be and who you're becoming. So take advantage of going to class. And when you're in class, make sure that you get to know the person sitting beside you and this person sitting in front of you, and this person sitting in your class, because those are the people that you're going to, really, really bond with over a period of time. So that's number one. Number two, find one or two professors on your campus Get to know them. Let them get to know you. You will be thankful for the bonds and relationships that you will build with these professors because they will become your mentors. I can speak that from personal experience. I had some great professors at South Carolina State University. All of them were super, super dope. I can't say that I had one bad professor. Even the ones that I didn't do as well as I probably should have in their class. But there's going to be one or two that you can, they're going to open up and you open up to them. And again, they will be mentors. For some, they will be father figures or mother figures. And I think those relationships are very important because they are going to help you in your trajectory as you move along, not just as you matriculate through college, but also as you grow as a young adult and into, your livelihood, and for some fatherhood as well, or motherhood. And so I think that's very important. So you got to find one or two of your professors, and again, it's a natural progression, and they're going to become like mentors to you, and you're going to be their mentee. And when I tell you I speak from personal experience, you will keep in contact with them forever. And there's a level of pride that they will have in seeing you. There was a particular time for me personally where as soon as I got back on campus after I graduated from South Carolina State University, I would always go to Belcher Hall, which was the School of Business. I graduated with a degree in marketing. And I would go holler at my folks. I would go holler at all of my professors because they were still there. A lot of them were tenured. And shout out to the late, great Dr. Barajo, who, as I mentioned before in this podcast before, Dr. Barajo used to call me Kelly. I don't know why he called me Kelly, but he couldn't say Kyle, so he would call me Kelly. So even when I would stop by his office, like when I would come back for homecoming or something like that, he'd say, "Hey, my man, Kelly, come in. Dr. Barajo was from Ethiopia. But yeah, he would call me his main man, Kelly. And I still answer to Kelly. Unfortunately, Dr. Barajo passed away a few years ago at the age of, I think he was 83. But, yeah, you will find some great people, if you allow yourself to grow and be mentored by them. Number 3, understand that everybody on your campus is invested in you, and they will do anything and everything to help you graduate. Now, again, I never set foot on a PWI campus, so I can't speak to that, but I can tell you that on every HBCU campus, every person on that campus is invested in you and they want to help you, and they will do whatever they can within reason to help you. You have to help yourself, obviously, but I think that's very important for students to understand when they get on an HBCU campus. I can't tell you that everybody at UCLA is pushing you to graduate. I can't tell you that everybody at the University of Missouri is pushing you to graduate. I can't tell you that happens at Florida or Florida State. I can tell you that happens at South Carolina State. It happens at Florida A&M. It happens at Howard. It happens at Tennessee State. It happens at Jackson State and all of the other schools that are HBCUs. Everyone on that campus, from the professors to the presidents to the janitorial staff to the little lady in the cafeteria who serves breakfast every morning, everyone is invested in you and they are rooting for you. You got to do your part, but if you do your part, they're going to help you along the way. And that has been tried and true forever. Number 4, one thing that you have to remember about being on an HBCU campus, you are in Wakanda. You are in Wakanda. Simply put, you're in an environment where you are the majority. There is no minority. I mean, like, there are other minorities, there are white people and other ethnicities on your campus, but you are the majority. And quite honestly, this is the last time in your life where you're going to be, as a Black person, someplace stable where you're in the majority. You could have gone to a Black elementary school. You could have gone to a Black middle school. You could have gone to a Black high school. When you set foot on a Black college campus, you are the majority. right? But it doesn't work like that after you leave that campus. When you leave that campus and you go into the real world, you're going to have to deal with people from all walks of life, from all different cultures. And it's going to be rare that you will ever be in any type of space where you're the majority. Maybe at work, depending on if you work for a black company, I guess. I don't know. I mean, but it's rare. It's more often than not, this is your last stop. But it is Wakanda, and it is treated as such. And the reason why I say that is because if you ever talk to or be around someone who's an HBCU alum, they will tell you how dope their campus is. They'll tell you how great their school is. They might tell you how dope their football team is or their basketball team, or they can run off a list of highlights about their school because there's a certain level of pride that comes with going to an HBCU. Now, I know that there are a lot of black people, and I have friends who did not go to HBCUs, and there's no knock on them. I mean, everybody has to make a choice where they want to go to school for themselves. And for me, I chose South Carolina State University. But what I will say is that level and that feeling of Wakanda, you won't be able to get it anywhere else. I tell people all the time, like, when I go back and I step on that campus in Orangeburg, South Carolina, I wish that feeling that you get, that rush, that sense of home, I wish that I could take that and put it in a bottle. And if I could put it in a bottle and sell it, it'd be a bestseller. I mean, because there's no other feeling like it. I can't speak to being a student at the University of Kentucky and going back for homecoming or going back for the Kansas-Kentucky game. I don't know what that feels like. What I will tell you is that there's a certain feeling that I get when I step on my campus, and it's going to be the same when I step on Howard's campus, or if I step on Bethune-Cookman's campus, or if I step on Delaware State's campus. It is a great feeling. And again, it is Wakanda, and you're treated as such. And I could go to North Carolina A&T's campus, and it's a great school. One of our bitter rivals when I was in school. And even still to this day, even though we don't play, we're not in the conference anymore with them. But one thing I can tell you, if I stepped on the campus of North Carolina A&T State University and I had on any South Carolina State paraphernalia, somebody's going to say something to you. It might not be the nicest thing, but somebody's going to say, it may be a joke, but it's all love. And one of the things that you'll find is being in that system and that feeling of Wakanda, particularly once you graduate, HBCU alums, it's a different kind of love. And again, it's no knock on any other school, but the love that we have for our fellow alums and then the love that we have for others who went to other HBCUs is different. I really can't put it into words, but it's different. The way we handle each other, the way we greet each other, the way that we, kick it with each other, it's just different. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing to the point where you could be from one school and it could be your rival. And again, there may be some trash talking, but it's all love. And now we may trash talk with each other. We may bump heads with each other, but we're not going to let anybody else talk bad about us. Number 5, one thing that you have to do, the advice I would give a kid on an HBCU campus, get out and get to know people. It ain't what you know, it's who you know. But more importantly, it's about who knows you. That's networking 101. You do need to know people, and you do need to be able to be in certain circles or make certain connections. But the flip side of that is people need to know who you are. If you've gone to an HBCU for 4, 5, maybe 6 years and people don't know you, then there's something wrong, or there's something that you didn't do. You should be known on your campus. I'm not saying that you got to be the big man on campus or the big woman on campus. I'm not saying that you have to be the person who throws parties and, does all these crazy things or jumps out of windows for fun. Shout out to Psycho. But you have to, people need to know who you are. Like, and I say this all the time, and what I'm going to say is I say this very humbly. There aren't many people who went to school at South Carolina State University in the time frame that I went there that don't know who I am. And I'm not saying that as like I did something extraordinarily special. But they do. Like, if you didn't know, if you were on South Carolina State's campus in 1994, 1995, you knew who Kyle was. And it wasn't just because I played football. I was out and about. People knew me. I know people. And I think one of the things that I tried to do is, build a lot of relationships, acquaintances and stuff like that. And you do that by being out on your campus. You do that by going to parties. You do that by going to class, hanging out, kicking it, just talking to people. But I'm always amazed that there's some kids who go to school and that's all they do is just go to school. And you have to be active. If you aren't active on your campus, if you're not participating in social activities, if you're not participating in, something as simple as going to the athletic games and stuff like that, you're going to get left behind socially. And you don't want that. But like I said, it's not so much about who you know, it's about who knows you. Because ultimately, these are the connections that you're going to make in college that are going to last you a lifetime, because there's going to be bonds and friendships that you're going to get that, honestly, you're not going to get anywhere else in life. Number 6, get off to a great start academically your freshman year. The thing that I will say is that it's kind of like flying a plane. You don't have to burn as much gas and fuel to get to your altitude once you get to cruising altitude. But if you start off with a 1.5 after the first semester of your first freshman year, it might be a little uphill battle for you, because, you just want to get off to a good start. And I know that makes it's not easy. I know it's easier said than done. And the reason being is because you're on a college campus and you're away from home for the first time if you're a freshman. And, you have nothing but freedom. No mom, no dad, no grandma, grandpa, nobody, no siblings. Once you finish class for any particular day, you've got the rest of the day to do whatever you want to do. You don't have to wash dishes. You don't have to take out the trash. You're an independent individual and you're growing, and you have to figure out how to manage your time. And a part of that is, studying. It goes without saying, but yeah, you want to get off to a good start academically. If you don't, it could get rough. It could get rough. Number 7, choose your friends wisely. And the reason why I say that is because you can and probably will meet some of the best people you have ever met on your college campus. I say that personally because I think I've gone to school with some of the greatest people who have walked this earth. No lie, male and female. And I never thought that you could have that type of collection of people in one place. And I was blown away. And you have people from different walks of life. And we're not a monolith as far as Black people are concerned. So, me coming from Florence, South Carolina, I knew a little bit about, the other cities and towns in the state of South Carolina, but I didn't know as much. And so when I found myself on campus and I'm meeting some of these people from these little small towns with one stoplight, some of the coolest people ever. And, you're just amazed because you realize that we as Black people are so diverse. There's so much diversity in us that it's not even funny. But yeah, you will make some great friends. I think I've met and made some friends for life. And I feel fortunate enough that I had a set of friends, my crew that I grew up with. And then I met another set of friends and crew that I went to college with, and I'm still tight with everybody to this day. And those friendships and those relationships matter. One of the things that I loved about being at South Carolina State University was that, everybody, there's just so much love. And I can't really put it into words, but there's so much love on that campus. And my campus is no different from any of the other HBCU campuses, to be honest. But you will meet some great friends. So pick and choose your friends wisely. You may find that everybody's not going to be your friend. You may find that everybody doesn't have the same interests as you, and that's cool. Find your tribe. I think that's very important, to find your tribe. Once you find your tribe, you're out of here. Number 8, spend your time wisely. Spend your money even wiser. And the reason why I say that is because, again, when you're in college, particularly on the HBCU campus, you have a lot of downtime. There's a lot of free time, unless you play a sport. But even then, you still have a good amount of free time. It's really about how you balance your time. And if you're not good at time management, you may not be in college long. So you have to spend your time very wisely. Spend your money even wiser, because money can come and go. And I would not make it a habit or advise you to lend money to people unless you don't plan to get it back. Because last time I checked, most of the people in college are broke. And it's some of the brokest times that you'll ever have. Personally, for me, in the 90s, I've never been that broke before in my life and had so much fun while being broke. Sometimes I think about it and I marvel at the fact that we had so much fun with so little money. We would go to parties that cost $2 to get in. There's no party I could go to right now that is going to charge me $2 to get in. Hell, you can't even get a drink for $2 now. But yeah, spend your time wisely, spend your money even wiser. Money's going to come and go. So you have to be, even in nowadays with this, with social media and the idea that you have to look a certain way or you have to wear this type of clothes, that type of stuff. So I understand those kind of pressures and stuff like that. Don't try to keep up with the Joneses because you can find yourself in debt. And buy the stuff that you want to have, and buy the stuff that particularly when it comes to clothes, be smart about what it is you buy. Don't be like this one guy I know who, spent $300 on a polo jacket, wore it twice and spilled bleach on it and never wore it again. And as I raise my hand, I'm talking about myself. So yeah, spend your money wiser. Number 9, go hard for homecoming week. Homecoming week is phenomenal. I know that there's a school out there that says that they call their homecoming G-Ho or something like that. Call it the greatest homecoming on earth. I've been there. It's pretty dope. And then there's another school, my school. We call our homecoming the livest homecoming in America. And it is. It is truly the livest homecoming in America. But here's the catch, folks. It doesn't matter where your HBCU is. Everybody has a dope homecoming. Everybody. I don't care how big your school is. I don't care how small your school is. Everybody has a dope homecoming. Enjoy homecoming to the fullest. Go hard homecoming week. Personally, I didn't get a chance to go hard during homecoming week because I played football. So we couldn't go out during the week because we had practice. And we only got a chance to go out Saturday after the game. And, one year we lost homecoming and we couldn't go out after the game. But yeah, go hard homecoming week. Go hard the whole week. Have fun. Enjoy yourself. But don't go hard enough to get yourself locked up. Do not go hard enough to get yourself locked up. I'm sure there's going to be quite a few of you who are going to listen to this. You're going to go hard homecoming week, and you're probably going to end up bent over a toilet, praying to the porcelain gods. It happens. Never happened to me because I didn't drink in college, but it could happen to you, and that's okay. That's fine. As long as you don't get locked up. Don't do nothing that's going to get you locked up. Number 10, understand that your college campus is the last place you'll be where you'll have genuine platonic relationships. And I think that's very important because college, particularly on an HBCU campus, it's the one place where you got a whole bunch of people, men and women, women and men, men and men, women and women. And there's a lot of love and respect. There's a lot of stuff that goes on between the people, but there's a bunch of platonic relationships, and that's okay. I think once you get out into the real world, it's like, okay, I'm trying to holler at you. I'm trying to kick it with you. I'm trying to see you. I'm trying to date you. I'm trying to be with you. I'm trying to marry you, right? I think in college, there's a bunch of platonic relationships and friendships where I'm a guy, I meet Stephanie, and I have no interest in Stephanie, none whatsoever. And Stephanie has no interest in me, and we're cool. And I think that's the last frontier of, you just meeting chicks that's just cool, just mad. Like, I tell people all the time, I went to school with some of the dopest women that you would ever want to be around. And I had no interest in them. And they had no interest in me. And we still are cool to this day. And when I see them, it's all love. And I don't know that happens in the real world. I think once you get out into the world, we get on this plan of, again, settling down. And don't get me wrong, a lot of people settle down in college. As many of you know, maybe you don't know, that's where I met my college sweetheart. And we've been married now at the time of this recording 25 years. And so, no, I didn't. But when I met her, she was just somebody that was cool as hell. And I thought she was dope. And she thought I was dope. And she thought I was funny, which was still surprising to me because I didn't think I was that funny, but she was laughing at my jokes. And here we are some 30 plus years later, still together, married for 25 and 4 kids. It can happen. Should you go to college looking to find somebody? I wouldn't say that because, what happened with me and my wife, Sharice, it can happen, but it probably won't happen. The stars will align, though. The stars will align, but more than anything else, I think you'll have some great platonic friendships and relationships, and those will last a lifetime. Number 11, don't let a few minutes of pleasure give you a lifetime of pain. If you know, you know. What I can say about that is that, we get caught up. We're young. A lot of us are wild. Some of us are very horny. I mean, don't let a few moments of pleasure cause you a lifetime of pain. I know some people that got caught up, got pregnant, had to leave school. Some came back, some didn't. That guy that you loved your junior year in college that you thought was going to be the love of your life turned out to be the deadbeat baby daddy. It can happen. That woman that you thought was so dope our freshman year, she was sleeping with you and 10 other dudes on the team. And now she's your baby mama. It can happen, right? Don't let a few moments of pleasure cause you a lifetime of pain. And last but not least, this goes without saying, number 12, my advice, have fun. Enjoy your time there. You're not there to reinvent the wheel. You're there to grow and learn more about yourself, learn who you're going to become, pick a career or a field that you wouldn't mind going to work in for the next 30 to 40 years, but have fun. If you go to college and you say you didn't have fun, something's wrong with you. It's not the school. It's probably you. I don't know what else to tell you. I had a ball. I tell people all the time, you've heard me say it on this podcast, and it's worth repeating. My 5.5 years at South Carolina State were the best 5.5 years of my life. Hands down. Ain't nothing touching that time. If you've heard these episodes, you know how glowingly and how lovingly I speak about my time at South Carolina State University. And it was everything. It was so much fun. And I enjoyed the time. yeah, I took out student loans and I got into some debt, and yeah, I paid off some of the loans. I still got maybe 1 or 2 loans left, and I'll pay for them probably by the time I'm 75. But guess what? I had fun. It was a good debt to get into. I don't care. Who cares, Sally Mae? You know, you get your money on time. You ain't gonna get a lot, but you're gonna get your money on time. But that time frame and the people that I came into school with, the people that I met, my friends that I played ball with, it's invaluable. I mean, like, there's no way that I would be here had I not gone there. And I know that everybody can't say that, but I will say, just on a personal note, it was definitely the best time of my life. And so what I will tell you, have fun. Those 4 or maybe 5 or maybe 6 years are going to go by really, really fast. If you don't have fun, if you don't allow yourself to understand all of these principles, then you've really wasted your time. And time is a terrible thing to waste. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for me. Thanks again for checking out this edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast. We drop new episodes every Thursday. What I need you to do is go to the website, the12kylepodcast.riverside.com, sign up for the newsletter, and also there you can get the podcast on every streaming platform. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for me. Thanks again for checking out this edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. I am your boy 12 Kyle. I will catch you guys next time. 5,000. Cheers.
Thanks again for listening to this episode of the 12 Kyle podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and share this podcast with a friend who needs the 12 Kyle podcast in their life. Every listen, every download, and every share helps us grow. Thanks for being a part of the 12 Kyle podcast community. We appreciate your support. We will catch you next time. 5,000.